Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Bowl TV for continued coverage of the 2021 Intercollegiate Team Championships ongoing at the Spectrum Entertainment Complex in Wyoming, Michigan. My name is Aaron Smith with Bowl TV and USBC Communications. We've already gone through a couple of days of qualifying and match play at the Intercollegiate Singles Championships. We know our four finalists in both the men's and the women's divisions. We had our announcements of our All-Americans last year as well here from Spectrum. And now it's time for the ITC. We are kicking off the team competition, folks, with the best 16 men's and 16 women's programs in the country, qualifying from 4 sectional qualifiers back in April, just a couple of weeks ago, an unprecedented turnaround to the national championships. But we're excited to be back here and excited to get back to crowning champions. We're going to see that on CBS Sports Network throughout May and June. But this is the beginning of the last leg of the journey. These teams have made it through the regular season. They advanced through sectionals and now here at the ITC. So as we get going here this morning, we're going to bring in the lanes right now. There they are. You guys want to see those? You don't want to see me. And we are right at the end of the practice session here. So they got 15 minutes of warm-up, 7.5 on each of their starting pairs. We will bowl 4 games before they move to their next pair. We have lane assignments and more available. Bowl.com/2021 Nationals. We'll send it to Zach right now for the announcements.
All practice shots. The USBC Collegiate Program would like to thank our bowl industry partners, Storm and Rotogrip. We would also like to thank our silver industry partners, Motive and 900 Global. We would like to thank Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider of the Intercollegiate Team Championships, Dexter Shoes, the #1 bowling shoe in the world, and a special thank you to the official live scoring provider of the Intercollegiate Team Championships, Merit Internet Booking Solutions. Team, please make sure you are properly wearing your mask at all times, covering your nose, mouth, and chin. Athletes, your lanes are now on for qualifying competition. Good luck and good bowling. Industry partners, Motive and 900 Global. We would like to thank Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider of the and a special thank you to the official live scoring provider of the Intercollegiate Team Championships, Merit Internet Booking Solutions. Team, please covering your nose, mouth, and chin. Athletes, your lanes are on for qualifying competition. Good.
All right, folks, our teams are ready. It is time to bowl here in the greater Grand Rapids area. We're going to have 12 qualifying games here to determine seeding for the upcoming double elimination match play bracket. Once we get to the bracket, it is a best of 7 in the Baker format. So Baker all the way here, no traditional games, so it's going to be fast, quick-paced, furious, all of those words to describe things that move quickly. So let's kick it off here on our featured pairs lanes at 13 through 16. Pikeville and William Penn going to be kicking things off for us here. But folks, as a friendly reminder, we do have every lane being used available here on bowltv.com. So if you're watching on desktop or a laptop, your first time here, be sure to check out the channel navigation below the video. If you're watching on a mobile device, that's you can find the navigation in the top right-hand corner. You'll see the 4-box window pane. Click on that. You will see all of the live channels available to pick. Folks, just a reminder that live scoring is available for every pair as well, so you can follow the teams. It should have the team names up there as well, so you can follow your favorite programs throughout the course of competition, so be sure to check that out. Courtesy of Merrick, providing the live scoring this week here from Spectrum. A quick look at the schedule for today as well. I mentioned first day of competition for the ITC. Both the men's and the women's field had an hour practice session. Yesterday here at Spectrum to get familiar with the oil pattern that they do not know anything else about other than from what they gathered from that hour and their 15-minute practice session this morning. So pattern information not revealed until after the conclusion of the event. That was the same way for the ISC and the same way for postseason play across the USBC collegiate field. So these teams and athletes limited to equipment, so they had to make their best decisions. Try and build a complete arsenal, and then make surface adjustments, hand position changes along the way to try and get lined up and find the best way to strike a bunch. Once again, this qualifying round, 3 Baker sets of 4 games each, 12 games total. Will determine seeding for the bracket play. Taking a look at the schedule for today. After our 12 Baker games, we're going to have an hour break before we head into match play round number 1 for our men's field. So after that round, we will have another break. The women will hit the lanes at 2 p.m. Eastern to start their qualifying session. So a little bit different. Once again, safety procedures and protocols in place this week to ensure student athlete, coaches, and staff safety. So traditionally, today would have been the men and the women's field bowling qualifying at the same time across the house, but the women will start their qualifying session at 2 p.m. Eastern, then have their first round of match play a little bit later today, scheduled time 6 p.m. for that. The men's first round of match play scheduled for 11 a.m. So with just one round of match play in the double elimination format, no teams will be eliminated after today. But once we get into competition on Friday, starting at 7 a.m. Eastern, so same start time, that's when we start to whittle down the field. Once a team collects that second overall loss, they will be eliminated from the 2021 event. And we will get closer and closer to determining our finalists who will be advancing to the CBS Sports Network televised finals. That's right. On Saturday, we will be taping the ISC and ITC shows, and the ITC shows will be airing later in May and in June, Tuesdays on CBS Sports Network. So starting this upcoming Tuesday, May 11th, and then for the 3 weeks following, we are going to have a brand new collegiate show, crowning national champions available on CBS Sports Network. The Women's ISC show will be the first thing to kick things off. That'll be May 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern. The Men's ISC show will be May 18th, also at 8 p.m. The Women's ITC show will be May 25th. That'll be 6:30 p.m. Eastern, so that's the only time deviation we have. And then the Men's ITC final, June 1st, 8 p.m. Eastern. Taking a look around the house with live scoring. Looks like the first big game out of the gates is belonging to the Wichita State Shockers over on 17 and 18. 2:24 out of the gates. They started with a 5-bagger to kick things off. Over on 9 and 10, looks like Lawrence Tech can get to 2:25 still. But for a lot of the teams out here, this is the time to gather information. Try and get prepared for that next block. Finally getting to see the lanes with another team on the pair as well. So teams teams had the chance to practice yesterday, as we mentioned, for the hour-long session, but definitely going to see a little bit different breakdown. Essentially a lot of, typically with the ITC, pretty tough, so one thing we probably didn't see too much of yesterday during the practice session. Spare balls going down the lane. A little bit more of a game plan as teams gathered that information. So 10th frame underway here on 13 and 14 for William Penn and Pikeville. 2:48:10 to kick off the 10th for William Penn. The 3, they'll be at 160 for Pikeville. Chance to get to 191. All right, 1 strike in the 10th. There's the double. Oh, that's more than 3. Nice conversion there. 2:48:10. Some really more than excitement here. .190 the finish for Pikeville here in game 1. Going to be 170 for William Penn. So we settle into this first Baker set for our teams here on 13 and 14. William Penn, they qualified through the Addison sectional, finishing in second place overall after 40 games of qualifying. Of course, the top four from each sectional advancing here to the ITC. So for William Penn, advancing out of Addison in second place. That's where Pikeville finished at the Dayton, Ohio sectional to advance here to the ITC in 2021. Taking a look across the house to get things going. Over on lanes 1 and 2, we have Mount Mercy and St. Ambrose. On 5 and 6, Midland and Lindenwood. 9 and 10, Lawrence Tech and Martin Methodist. 13 and 14, that's what we're watching right here, William Penn and Pikeville. On 17 and 18, Wichita State and Calumet. 21 and 22, Indiana Tech and Wisconsin Whitewater. Weber International and McKendree on 25 and 26. Weber, the defending ITC champion. Then on 29 and 30, St. Francis, Illinois and Emmanuel. But taking a quick look around the house and live scoring, looks like teams are beginning to settle in here. There are a couple of string of strikes, including St. Ambrose front 5, down on 1 and 2. Quick recap of the week so far leading up to the ITC. Yesterday, we determined our finalists, top 4 men and the top 4 women for the Intercollegiate Singles Championships. On the women's side, the semifinal matchups, Indiana Tech's Marissa Carey taking on North Carolina A&T's Anna Elijah. the opening match. And then the second semifinal will feature Delaware State's Katie Robb taking on McKendree's Izzy Allen. And on the men's side, the opening semifinal match will be Calumet's PD Virgos taking on St. Ambrose's Jordan Monens. With the second semifinal going to be the top qualifier from the ISC qualifying session, Alec Keplinger of Wichita State versus Andrew Sachs of Lindenwood. And taking a look down there on 1 and 2, we do have some strikes continuing to go. Looks like front 8 for St. Ambrose. So since we have the ability, we're going to take a quick sneak peek over there. So everybody hang tight. This is Mount Mercy and St. Ambrose on 1 and 2. Front 8 for St. Ambrose. They are on lane 2. Early morning excitement here, folks. Looks like Nate Stubler, first team NCBCA All-American. We'll talk about those individuals coming up here shortly, but looking for the front 9. How about that? It's 7:24 in the morning. We got the front 9, folks. We got some scores out there for the Fighting Bees. Cameron Crow's going to be stepping up here in the 10th frame. Game 2 of qualifying at the Intercollegiate Team Championships here in 2021. Looking to make it 10 in a row for St. Ambrose. First shot of the 10th. Oh, we're in business. We are in business. They had 196 in game 1. And here we are now. Front 10, just like that. Again, it's qualifying. It's early. You're just trying to set up seating for match play. But how about some early momentum here for St. Ambrose? Now looking for the front 11. Let's get one more here, Cameron. Oh, front 11. Come on. Come on. Update, it's 7:25 in the morning here at Spectrum Entertainment Complex. It's game 2 of qualifying at the 2021 Intercollegiate Team Championships. St. Ambrose Fighting Bees say, coffee not needed. Just give us some strikes. 11 in a row to start this game. Cameron Crow stepping up right here for a chance at a Baker 300 at the ITC. Let's get it, Cam. Let's start the day off big. And we're going to be $299, the 3-pin. But what a start. $299, folks. It might be that type of ITC. We might have some scores out there this year. Big number out of the gates, $299. How about that? You guys weren't ready for that type of energy at 7:26 in the morning, but we brought it to you. How about that? St. Ambrose. We'll head back to 13 and 14 now. So everybody hang tight. So we're ready for that type of energy. 7:26 in the morning, but we brought We even got to the end of the game here. Pikeville 188. So steady start for them. Very even as well for William Penn. So now that we see what's out there, and taking a quick look at Wichita State, they had 247 that game. There are some scores available, folks. So for Pikeville and William Penn, potentially a little bit behind the scoring pace, but once again qualifying. Nobody is getting eliminated at this juncture. All for seeding purposes, so settling in, trying to find something. But a 299. Let's go. The energy you didn't know you needed. Game 3 of Baker Set 1. They're qualifying for the Intercollegiate Team Championships in 2021. As a reminder, live scoring available for every single pair in play. Courtesy of our friends at Merrick. Also provided live scoring for the ISC, so a big thank you to them. For helping us get the info out. Being able to follow your favorite student athletes and schools. Before we got to the excitement of the 299 game from St. Ambrose, I mentioned the finalists had been determined for the Intercollegiate Singles Championships. And then a little bit later yesterday, we had our second edition of the Collegiate Award Show, debuted in 2020. We actually shot the show here from the Boutique Center at Spectrum Entertainment Complex. We announced not only some teams who had already been previously announced, like NJCAA, the Club Team Bowling Coaches Association, and the NAIA All-Americans and Award winners. So we announced we recognized those athletes, and then we announced the NTCA, the IBMA, and the NCBCA award winners for 2021. And on the men's side, since we're watching the men this morning, Jeffrey Mann from Marion, Indiana, was named the most valuable player and earned a spot on the first team All-America for NCBCA. He was joined by Oklahoma Christian's Joshua Imhoff, Calumet's Kevin McCune, Trine's Austin Robeson, and St. Ambrose and Nathan Stubler. The men's Rookie of the Year from Weber International, A.J. Wolstenholme. Second team on the men's side, Calumet, Dylan Dobron. From Notre Dame, Ohio, Romeo Patrick Holmes. From Lincoln Memorial, Michael Ray Shell. From Wichita State, Nick Sommer. And then we mentioned AJ from Weber. He was also on the second team, along with being named Rookie of the Year. The honorable mention team on the men's side, Nicholas Graville from Marion, David Hooper from Emmanuel, Alec Johnson from Arizona State, Alec Keplinger from Wichita State, Stephen Coker from Bowling Green State, Marcus McLean, Indiana Tech, Joshua Malloy, Grand Canyon, P.D. Virgos from Calumet, Michael Weber from Lawrence Tech, and Raymond Wigan from Iowa Central CC. Those are your men's All-Americans on the NCBCA side. Just got to pass along some interesting information as well that we can use here, because we are watching Baker competition, courtesy of Carl Nicolai. So Carl, just a humongous part of the collegiate bowling world, longtime runner of collegebowling.com, former collegiate coach at Michigan State, and the founder of Average Differential. Things you didn't know you needed to know. But that's right, Carl, courtesy for Average Diff. But he passed along the varsity Baker averages this season throughout the course of the year. So taking a quick look at that. Looks like McKendree was the top overall Baker team on the men's side, averaging approximately 212 per Baker game. Pikeville, who we're watching right now, came in at 11th at just a hair under 202 for the season. And then William Penn in 21st place at 198. Tenth frame of game 3 for William Penn. The spare can still get to 184. Ninth frame underway for Pikeville. A bit of a slowdown for St. Ambrose after the 299. They are clean through 5, but just with 1 strike. And folks, we've been rolling so fast and furiously here that if you're new to Baker competition, I didn't even run that down for you. So if this is your first time watching Baker competition and you're wondering what are all these folks doing up here? Essentially, the Baker system is 5 players bowling 1 traditional game. So your leadoff bowler will bowl the 1st and the 6th frame of the game. Your second bowler bowls the 2nd and the 7th. Your third bowler, the 3rd and the 8th. The 4th bowler, the 4th and the 9th. And you see where this is going. The 5th bowler bowls the 5th and the all-important 10th frame. So for the coaches out there, it's all about kind of learning the dynamic of your team, finding out who works well in which roles. And there certainly are defined roles we've had over the years with Baker format. You kind of have your leadoff player being kind of your most consistent person who's going to make a good shot, going to report the information back to the team. So William Penn finishes with 184. Pikeville 158 in game 3 of 4 of Baker set 1. So you want that steady shooter at the top of the lineup. In the 5th spot, that player who has ice water in their veins, who's going to give you the key double, fill the frame when you need it the most. In that 10th frame to win a match, to send your team to the next round, or maybe even in a couple days win a national title on CBS Sports Network. So take a look at the lineups here for these teams. Just the roster submitted by each of the teams heading into the ITC for Pikeville. Of course, located in Pikeville, Kentucky. Longtime head coach of the Bears is Kyle Wilson. They finished the regular season with a power rating of 15 in the team ranking system. Their lineup this year: Benjamin Bailey, Mateo Cittadino, Jonathan Lovett, Dylan Mishak, Bryce Oliver, Paul Sachs, Parker Spencer, and Ryan Taylor. And looking at that team, a lot of couple freshmen. Benjamin, Dylan, and Bryce. We've seen Bryce on a junior gold show in the past. Ryan Taylor made ISCs as well, also a freshman, so a young team for Coach Kyle. Showing a lot of promise here moving forward. For the William Penn Statesmen out of Oskaloosa, Iowa, coached by Brandon Brooks. They finished the regular season ranked at 19th. Kind of the other end of the spectrum for them. This is a very experienced group. A lot of upperclassmen. The roster here for the ITC includes Jake Cook, Ryan Dudley, Brandon Fries, Dawson Green, Alexander and Rock Kostrick, Albert Liggins, and Jason Miner. This William Penn team early three-bagger here in Game 4 after a 171-69-184 start for Pikeville, 190-188-158. Question from Trey in the Bowl TV chat asking about the schedule upcoming for today in particular. And Mindy, no problem. Glad to help out with the live scoring once again. Live scoring courtesy of our friends at Merrick. But the schedule for today. We have 2 additional Baker sit rounds. Here for men's qualifying, 12 games will determine seeding for bracket play. They have approximately a 3-hour window for that. Looks like across the house we are in Game 4, I believe. So we should be actually a little bit ahead of pace. But following this up is going to be the first round of men's men's match play. So the first round, the first set of best of 7 Baker matches will be taking place at 11 a.m. Eastern. And then after that, we'll have a quick competition break. And then the women will head over here to the Spectrum Entertainment Complex, bowl their 12 qualifying games starting at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then have their first round of match play at 6 p.m. So we will not be losing any teams today. So everybody will be coming back once again, double elimination format. But then tomorrow, Friday, we got a day on Friday. Starting at 7 a.m., we will have the men's second round of match play. At 10 a.m., we'll have the women's second round of match play. And then after that, we will have had enough teams, unfortunately, be eliminated from the tournament to where we will bring both the men and the women's teams left in the field together for the first time, starting at 1 p.m. for round 3, 3 p.m. round 4, 5 p.m. round 5, and then 7 p.m. for round 6, and then if we get to the if necessary match, if a team from the elimination bracket is able to force an if necessary match against a team from the winner's bracket, we will be back Saturday morning. One more 7 a.m. start for the if necessary match before we get into the first taping, which will be the ISC men's finals at 10 a.m. local time. Of course, once again, all the shows are going to be being airing starting with the Women's ISC show on May 11th, and then Tuesdays after that on CBS Sports Network. But that is kind of the schedule for the next couple of days here. Big 256 from Lindenwood. To wrap up their block, we're going to finish at 783. But after the 299 game, a little bit of a slowdown for St. Ambrose. They're making the turn at, all right, not the turn, but moving into game 4 at 676. So still bowling well, but you're plus 99 for one of those games. Didn't quite figure out the switch to the other lane. And Wichita State's going to put up a pretty nice number here. They're potentially going to be our early leaders. Weber International starting that game with 7 consecutive strikes. They can shoot 277 over on 25 and 26. So some opportunity for some numbers here on the fresh. Tenth frame underway for Pikeville. Gonna get the trip 2, can get to 175. But you're gonna have some things to work out here on our undisclosed oil pattern. Seeing some of the scores out there right now. William Penn clean through 8. Looking for one more spare here after the early 3-bagger. Found ways to stay clean. Looking for one more conversion here, 3-6. So Pikeville gets a 7-11 for this opening block with a strike on the fill. After the open, William Penn can now still get to 203 for the game. But the spare gets 726 for their spare and a strike, I should say. Get them to 726. So again, taking a look around the house, and we do have Wichita State, I believe, is going to be the early leader by potentially quite a bit. They're going to be north of 950 here, but Calumet is going for 290. Let's see if we can get some bonus coverage of that real quick. So everybody hang tight. So now heading over to 17 and 18, Wichita State already complete. Calumet just got the first strike in the 10th, so 290 still out there. That's Kevin McCune, son of PBA Tour champion Eugene McCune. First team All-American this year for the NCBCA and IBMA as well. The runners up. And going to come in light, leave the 5-8, so Calumet. Now Max at 278, but going to bail out the set with the big final game. Wichita State, 245 that final game, 951 through their first 4 games. So that is a number. That is a number, folks. Calumet's going to finish with 278 that game, get to 836 out of the gates. Let's see, where we still got some bowling going on here after Baker's set and 1. Still got a couple frames down on 1 and 2. Let's go down to 1 and 2. Once again, we'll get a little bit of Mount Mercy and St. Ambrose. So after the big 4, 10th frame coming up for St. Ambrose. They can shoot 209 this game. Mount Mercy working on 3 strikes to set up the 10th. Nice shot there from Mount Mercy. I believe making their first ITC appearance since 2013. So, team that's come together nicely over the past couple of seasons. So after the 299 in game 2, taking a look at the overall score here, it looks like with the spare 875, the finishing total for St. Ambrose. There it is. And going to be the fill ball here now for Mount Mercy. Strike gets into 243. We'll call it 242 with the 10 pin left standing. They're going to be at 863. So we've seen some decent scores out there. Nothing quite like 951 from Wichita State, but we saw some teams put together some big efforts to bail out a couple games here. And that should, I believe, wrap up Baker's set 1. So we'll head back to 13 and 14. Let's see who's going to be where for the next game.
Teams, that concludes block 1 of competition. You may now move forward to round number 2's lane rotation schedule. Teams, once you reach your new pair, please use the tablet to advance your screens to game number 5. If your lanes have turned off and your screen says bowling too slow, you will just need to hit the tablet twice to get the lanes turned back on, followed by moving forward to the next game. Athletes and coaches, please make sure you are properly wearing your mask at all times, covering your nose, mouth, and chin. As a reminder, coaches, we will not need you to bring us your score sheets after every 4 games, as we will be bringing that scores back to us at the end. We will verify the scores we've received out of the scoring system with your recap sheet following the 12 games of competition. To get the lanes turned back on, followed by moving forward to the next game. Athletes and coaches, please make sure you are properly wearing your mask at all times, covering your nose, mouth, and chin. As a reminder, coaches, we will not need you to bring in your scores after every 4 games, because we will be bringing that scores back to us at the end. We will verify the scores we have received out of the scoring system with your recap sheet following the 12 games of competition.
All right, folks, as we wait for our teams to move around, Emmanuel and Lawrence Tech will be joining us here for Baker Set 2 on 13 and 14. But let's take a quick trip over to the land of Facebook, the Sport of Bowling USBC page to watch the 10th frame of St. Ambrose's at 299. Earlier this morning. There we go, folks. 299 from St. Ambrose. Some early morning excitement. The approximate time for that 10th frame, 7:25 in the morning. But with that, let's head back to the lanes. Lawrence Tech and Emmanuel going to be kicking things off for Baker Set 2 on Bowl TV here for the qualifying session for the men's field at the 2021 Intercollegiate Team Championships taking place at the Spectrum Entertainment Complex in Wyoming, Michigan. My name is Aaron Smith. Joined as always by Jason Thomas here on site at Spectrum. 9 total channels available for your viewing pleasure, so you can follow every pair in play. And if you are on a different pair, we know you don't have the scoreboards up there, but you do have live scoring. So be sure to have that available courtesy of Merrick. Live scoring available courtesy of Merrick. All right, everybody. Game number 1 of Baker Set 2. Lawrence Tech and Emmanuel joining us here on lanes 13 and 14. And quite a start here for the Blue Devils. They were the 2019 runner-up at the ITC, falling in the championship to Weber International. We talked a little bit about them during the sectional weekend, about how there are quite a few new names for Lawrence Tech, but able to find similar success and off to a great start here. Striking out 7 out of the first 8, can still get into the 240s here with the spare in the 10th. Freshman Michael Weber taking home some hardware yesterday as well, and throughout the course of the season for a phenomenal performance. Emmanuel, nice little game here as well to get things going, to get to 215. We'll run some scores down for you overall after the first Baker set in just a moment. We'll get you the team rosters as well for the ITC for Lawrence Tech and Emmanuel here in 2021. Talked about Lawrence Tech, really building a strong foundation, able to, kind of find continued success after a very strong graduating class wrapped up in 2019 and 2020. Emmanuel certainly has that up-and-coming status and is going to be a team to keep an eye on this week as well. Made their first ITC appearance back in 2019, qualifying out of Smyrna. And they did the same here in 20 and 21, 245 for Lawrence Tech. Saw some firepower from Emmanuel at the Hoosier Classic back in February. 4 events at the Hoosier Classic in the 2021 edition. Emmanuel taking one of those titles. David Hooper from Emmanuel earning spot on the honorable mention All-America team for NCBCA, as did Michael Weber from Lawrence Tech. I mentioned him a little bit earlier. 214. Game 1 score for Emmanuel. Let's run down the plus minuses here after the first Baker block. Wichita State leading at plus 151, St. Ambrose plus 75, Mount Mercy plus 63, Weber plus 44, Calumet plus 36, Indiana Tech plus 19, and Martin Methodist In 7th place, plus 18. Those are your teams that are plus through the first 4. Once again, this qualifying session, not cutting anybody. This is just for seeding for bracket. The first team in the minus, Lindenwood at minus 17 in 8th place. St. Francis, Illinois, minus 39. Midland, minus 40. Lawrence Tech and Emmanuel, minus 43. McKendree, minus 64. William Penn, minus 75. Pikeville, minus 89. And Wisconsin Whitewater, minus 95. So we have some very evenly matched teams here. Lawrence Tech and Emmanuel, the same score after the first block. So Lawrence Tech, 245 to kick things off. So they're a little bit higher in the standings now. After 5 of 12, this is it's crazy. We're already to the halfway point of this block, and it's only 8:15 in the morning. But we promised you some rosters here, so let's run those down from the official program book this year. Let's start with who do we want to start with? Let's start with Emmanuel from Franklin Springs, Georgia, coached by Joey Kendrick, finished 2nd in Smyrna. Their overall ranking for the season, 18th. Looks like their roster heading into this lineup. And folks, I do get any names incorrect and you happen to know, hey, Aaron, you said that wrong. Please feel free to let me know. So we got Nick Dischinger, Josh Donahue, Stephen Faulkner, David Hooper, Stephen Lackey, Ryan Lapano, Patrick Phillips, and Peyton Smith for Emmanuel. Ryan Lapano rolled a 300 game in Las Vegas during the 2019-2020 season, which is you've seen him throw that strike. If you've been on Bowl TV waiting for a broadcast, the little promo video that runs, we do have a shot of Ryan's final shot for 300 on there. So pretty cool stuff there. For Lawrence Tech, the Blue Devils from Southfield, Michigan, not too far from here. Coached by John Putty. Might be Putty there, actually, now that I think about it. Finished 3rd in Dayton. Finished the season ranked 9th overall in the team ranking system. Their roster, once again, a lot of, I see 1, 2, 3 freshmen and 2 sophomores, so predominantly underclassmen group here. But Brendan Ashley, David DeCrut, Taryn Hersma, Cody Johnston, Jacob Kujawa, Mitch Russinick, Noah Samuels, and Michael Weber. The group for Lawrence Tech here. Big thanks to everyone for joining us here. Early morning energy in the Bowl TV chat as well. So hello again to Mindy, to Trey, Michaela, Jennifer, Nancy. Who are you rooting for? Let us know in the chat as well. Who's your pick to click here at the ITC this year to make a run, to spend some time on CBS Sports Network? On the men's side, 2 brand new teams to the ITC making their first appearance, Indiana Tech and Martin Methodist. Thought it was pretty crazy when we were putting together the recap story. On the women's side, nearly half the field making their first ITC appearance. So 7 of the 16 teams on the women's side making their ITC debut in 2021. Got some love for Lawrence Tech in the chat. Nancy's cheering on the Warriors, but there are a couple of Warriors here in the field. Cynthia cheering on CCSJ. Good morning as well. We got some strikes ending up here for Emmanuel. That's 266 still out there after 215 or 214, excuse me. In the opener here on lane 13. Once again, we are skipping a pair between each. Oh, get out of there, 9-pin. It's too early for 9-pins. 7 in a row for the Lions of Emmanuel College. Let's go. I like some scores here on Bowl TV. And another one. Let's make it 8 in a row. Into the 250s now. I believe that's Peyton Smith for Emmanuel in the anchor spot. First open for Lawrence Tech. They can still shoot 216 in this game. Two-pin will end this string of strikes at 8, but going to be in the 250s here. Emmanuel. Going to be right around plus 70 for their first 2 games here in Baker set 2. So they're going to be on the right side of plus. Entered this round at minus 43, as did Lawrence Tech. Lawrence Tech had made up the pins in that first game, but back-to-back washouts here. Gonna make it potentially a little bit tougher. Gonna need to spare for a chance at 200 plus this game. Back-to-back opens. The max drops to 194 for Lawrence Tech. So Emmanuel looking to bring a substitute in here to shoot at the 2-pin, and great move, savvy move by Coach Joey Kendrick. Lawrence Tech gets that first strike in the 10th. Teams are allowed up to 8 players. So obviously with the Baker format, you can have 5 in the lineup at a time. But coaches do have the ability to switch players out throughout the course of competition. The only real rule with bringing in a sub is, say, if you bring someone in the 4th frame, to shoot a spare or whatever it may be, they cannot re-enter the game. The person you have taken out cannot re-enter the game until you actually start the next full game. So 254 for Emmanuel. We got a double? Oh, we got a double. In the 190s now. For Lawrence Tech, as teams will make the switch after this game. But if folks, if this is your first time really watching collegiate bowling, and you're wondering why is everyone standing up there? Why aren't they sitting down politely in their seats? Lawrence Tech finishes with 192. They're crowding the settee area. It's tough to get up there, but that is part of the collegiate bowling environment. We talked about teams having multiple players available on the bench, but teams are up there. They're gathering information. They are talking. It is about communication and, trying to find the best way to put together a strong Baker performance game in and game out. When you kind of think about the traditional game sense, you can kind of rely on 2 or 3 players to kind of carry you throughout the course of competition. You can't have that in Baker because, if you got someone struggling, you're looking at 1 or 2 opens per game, all of a sudden that is going to greatly affect your score. If you've got, guys shooting 250, 260, that will kind of put a Band-Aid over that, but you're not going to get those 250s and 260s. In the Baker with that. So that is part of the reason. A lot of information, a lot of talking. And that's why that leadoff role, once again, is so important to have, one of your best shot makers up there to make sure a good shot is being thrown. That information can be relayed, to the rest of the team. Getting back to the Bowl TV chat. Hello, Barbara. Love watching these future PBA champions. I agree. For Nancy, Indiana Tech Warriors. All right. I see you, Nancy. I like that energy. The Warriors out here for the first time on the men's side. Indiana Tech has Marissa Carey in the ISC show on the women's side. Got David cheering on Lawrence Tech. Quick additional note from my main man, Gary Brown, downtown Gary Brown, as I like to call him. Going back to the sub situation we were talking about, in the 10th frame, only 1 substitute is allowed. So if you were to get a strike, if your anchor player got a strike to kick off the 10th frame and you brought in a substitute to complete the frame, you couldn't bring 2 players in, 1 to shoot the 11th, 1 to shoot the 12th. So just 1 substitution in the 10th frame, but there we go. Thanks to Gary for that. While we have the opportunity, just a big thanks to all the folks part of the International Bowling Campus Youth Development Team for their continued work to continue to build a future for the sport. Just a phenomenal, hardworking group. Have put in some tremendous hours this week to make sure these student athletes have an incredible environment to compete in for their national championship. So here on site this week, we got Brandon Cruz, we got Zach Barton, we got Andrew Lowy, Melissa Matos. We mentioned Gary Brown. We're going to have Hannah joining us as well in a couple days for the TV shows for some photos. Then we also have Rob Gottschall helping out with the tournament as well. Steve Lawson, who ran the sectional in Addison, is here helping with scores once again. Jason Thomas helping us with the Bowl TV side of things. I'm Aaron Smith. Of course, a big thank you to Spectrum Entertainment Complex. The Eaton family has been phenomenal this week and providing a top-notch venue for these competitors. So a lot of thanks to go around for jobs well done this week. So thank you to everybody for making this happen. Game 3 of Baker's set 2. Emmanuel games of 214 and 254. Looking to stay clean through frame 6 here as they get ready to go. How about Lawrence Tech, though? Blue Devils liking lane number 13 right now. 6 in a row after a spare in the first. Hey, let's get one more. Hey, let's get one more. 7 in a row. It's been pretty fun this morning, I'm not going to lie. It's a good energy. I like being back in the building for the ITC. Nothing quite like it in the sport of bowling. Great energy here at 8:34 in the morning local time. Lawrence Tech looking to make it 8 in a row. Asking for some help, not going to get it 5-pin up there. Still can get to 269 this game. Mixer isn't going to get the 10. Spare gets Lawrence Tech into the 250s. 245 in the opener, 192 in game 2. First game on lane 13. Emmanuel looking for a double. At the open in the 7th. They're going to get it. .210 still out there. Good question in the chat from Maria. The women will be bowling a little bit later today. So once again, safety procedures and protocols in place this week. So for all of today, the men and the women will be bowling separately at separate times. And for the first, let's see. And for the first round tomorrow as well, before we have enough teams eliminated from competition to where they will bring everybody into the same house. So the women will be bowling starting today at 2 p.m. Eastern for their 12 Baker game qualifying round. And then that will follow at 6 p.m. Eastern with their first round of match play. So back-to-back rounds for the men here to kick things off. Men's first round of match play scheduled for 11 a.m. Eastern time, local time here in Grand Rapids. Nice 258 there. Excellent game from Lawrence Tech. Nearly 100 over. 95 over, 695, first 3 games here. Manuel bounces back nicely after the open in the 7th. Gonna be north of 200 here. Have all 3 games so far on this this particular Baker set. Above 200, 209. So we get ready for Baker set, or game 4, Baker set 2. There is a nice fun fact in the chat from Gloria. And a correct one, 20 years ago. The 2001 ITCs were here at Spectrum Lanes. Bonus points to anyone who can tell me the coach who's in the men's field right now, who's part of the winning men's team here at Spectrum Lanes. So 2001 ITC champion on the men's side here at Spectrum Lanes is now a coach of one of the teams in the field this week in the men's division. See, Gloria mentioned Nebraska. That's correct. They won the women's division, but we were looking specifically on the men's side. Which coach who is currently in the field, in the building right now, was here 20 years ago, winning a national title on the lanes. Can't argue with Rick Steelsmith. That, you know, he is coaching on the lanes. He's won an ITC title, but was not here at Spectrum Lanes. Y'all weren't ready for this type of trivia before 9 a.m., were you? Let's go. I'll give it another minute before I let you guys know, see if anyone has any last-minute submissions in the chat. I will give you a hint. The winning men's team in 2001 was Western Illinois. So who's part of that men's team? That Leatherneck team in 2001, who is now a coach and on the lanes right now, coaching his team here at the ITC. See, Gloria got the Western Illinois. That's correct. But which young pup on that Western Illinois team? Now a grizzled veteran of the coaching scene. Before we get to the answer, another quick question. Can you switch to a different pair of lanes, or can you only watch these? You actually have every pair in play available to you here on Bowl TV for the ITC. So if you're watching on a desktop or a laptop, if you're seeing the chat, which I know you are, you'll see the navigation below the video. So right now this is ITC main you're watching if you're hearing the commentary, but we have ITC 1 through 4, 5 through 8, 9 through 12. So that is, and just continue to scroll through. There's the blue arrow to go through as well. So just find the team you want by going through there. We have the lane assignments available as well. Right above the chat in that middle tab, you can find the lane pairings. But if you're on a mobile device, look in the top right-hand corner. You'll find a 4-box window pane. You can click on that and then pick your pairs that way as well. So that should hopefully help out. But the answer There wasn't Albanese on that team, I believe, Dan, but the answer to the trivia question of which player on the 2001 Western Illinois team is now a coach and here coaching a men's team at the ITCs, that is Sean Walkner of Wisconsin Whitewater. The Gordon Vatican Coach of the Year announced yesterday for the NCBCA. Sean Walkner. With Wisconsin Whitewater. It's part of that Western Illinois team. Mentioned Sean winning some hardware yesterday. It's part of the collegiate award shows. The Gordon Vatican Coach of the Year on the men's side. The women's winner for that, the Kerm Helmer Coach of the Year, Andy Dirks from Mount Mercy, I believe his second consecutive win of that award. The Mount Mercy Mustangs, the top-ranked team in the nation. They'll be competing a little bit later today. The men's team out on the lanes right now. The women's first team, we ran down the men's teams a little bit. We'll talk a little bit more in depth about the women's team as well once they hit the lanes. But their first team here in the 2021 season, Lindsey Brown from Martin Methodist, Christina Cato from Pikeville, Victoria Jardina from Lawrence Tech, Hope Gramley from McHenry, and Madison Janak from Wichita State. Your first team, Madison ended up being the most valuable player, and then Christina at Pikeville, Rookie of the Year. Hitting the home stretch here. Game 4 of Baker Set 2. After this, our competitors will move across the house to their final pair of lanes for qualifying before we know the seeding for the double elimination match play bracket. Once again, best of 7 Baker. Once we hit the bracket, it'll be that way until the televised finals, which will be best of 5 once we get there on CBS Sports Network. Lawrence Tech, after the 2:58 game, just looking to make a light rally there. That big 4 is going to slow him down a little bit in frame number 9. Gonna get 3. Gonna drop the Blue Devils max down to 196. Emmanuel, after the early 3-bagger to start this game, has slowed down a bit. Pair opens in the middle of the game there. Their max with the 5-pin left standing, 198. For the LTU fans out there, I'm curious, the young man who's been throwing some strikes in the 10th frame, is that Michael Weber? Is that the freshman star for Lawrence Tech this year? I haven't got to see them in person yet. This is the first opportunity, but as you mentioned, Michael earning some awards for his performance this season, his rookie year, his freshman year. All right, just got to note that was actually Taryn Herjma in that anchor spot for Lawrence Tech. So appreciate the note there from Gary Brown, who's listening in on the broadcast. Got David in the chat mentioning that as well. Thank you. Thank you, David. All about help out here, folks. I will take it. I'll run with it. .185 finish there for Emmanuel. They're going to finish up at 862, so they're going to get to plus here. As is Lawrence Tech, 879 in that four-game block. Both of them were minus 43 to start. Baker set 2, so Baker set 3 going to be coming up shortly here. Let's see if we got any bonus bowling for you good folks. Or if we're all just about done. Looks like maybe a couple frames. $25 and $6. We can get some bonus coverage. 25 and 6. Everybody hold tight here for a quick second. All right. Bonus action. Pikeville and Mount Mercy. Looks like Pikeville's already in the 10th frame. They're going to be in the 190s this game. This is the 8th frame for Mount Mercy. unable to make the 3-6-7-10. It's going to put a max score of this game for Mount Mercy at 195. Final shot for Pikeville. They finished with 199. But we saw Pikeville in the first round. They are still having some struggles out there figuring out this pattern. But once again, qualifying just used to determine seeding for the bracket. Here's the 9th frame for the Mustangs. Get the hit. 195 still out there. Looks like Pikeville's at 212 under. Mount Mercy can get to north of plus 100 if they're able to strike out, or at least get the first 2 hits in the 10th. Four-pin drops the max after Baker set 2, plus 83 overall. Let's see if we got some. All the scores not quite up there on the scoreboards at the moment. St. Ambrose at plus 58, William Penn at plus 33, Midland plus 19. Looked like Wichita State was still cruising, but looking at live scoring, they've already moved on to the next pair, so spare there. One more shot to go, and that should move us into the next round.
That concludes round 2 of qualifying. Teams, at this time, you may move forward to your round 3 qualifying lanes. Teams, please remember, masks must properly be worn at all times, covering your nose, mouth, and chin at all times. Coaches, at the end of the round 3 qualifying, please make sure to bring your recap sheets up to the front desk so we can use your recap sheets to verify the scores we rolled out the scoring system. Teams, when you get to your next lane, any of those lanes
173 that game. Mount Mercy at plus 81 heading into Baker set 3. We're going to go ahead and go back to 13-14. We will see Mount Mercy joining St. Francis, Illinois. Coming up next here on our featured channel. Featured lanes 13 and 14. So everybody hang tight as we make the move.
Many of those lanes may have already shut off. Please use your tablets, get your lane turned back on, and move forward.
All right, folks, with that, we're going to take a quick break as we get ready for Baker Set 3 coming up here at the 2021 Intercollegiate Team Championships taking place at Spectrum Entertainment Complex in Wyoming, Michigan. My name is Aaron Smith. Thank you again for joining us here. And we will be here throughout the course of the day to bring you qualifying in the first round of match play at the ITC in both the men's and the women's division. So everybody sit tight. St. Francis, Illinois, and Mount Mercy coming up next here. But every pair available on Bowl TV. So don't miss it. And once again, thank you to everybody for joining us here on Bowl TV. We'll be right back.
You guys were there. I was like, dang it, that's a coach. All the time has come.
All right, everybody, we're into game one of Baker Set 3 here for qualifying in the men's division at the 2021 Intercollegiate Team Championships. My name is Aaron Smith, and a big thank you once again to everybody for joining us here from the Spectrum Entertainment Complex in Wyoming, Michigan. Just a couple games left to qualifying. We will know where our teams sit in the bracket. Then we will get the first round of the best of 7 Baker underway in just a little bit. Some updates for scores after 8. Wichita State plus 195, leading Weber International plus 135. Mount Mercy 81, or Wow, plus 81. There we go. See, it is early in the morning here, folks. We'll get those as they scroll back around here on site once again. So Wichita, 195. Weber, plus 135. Mount Mercy, plus 81. St. Ambrose, plus 58. Indiana Tech, plus 43. Lawrence Tech, plus 36. Got these scrolling on site right now. So we had Lawrence Tech at plus 36, William Penn plus 33, Emmanuel plus 19. So Wichita, Weber, Mount Mercy, St. Ambrose, Indiana Tech, Lawrence Tech, William Penn, Emmanuel, your top 8. Midland plus 19, 9 teams plus St. Francis, Illinois minus 12, Calumet minus 13, Wisconsin Whitewater minus 19, Martin Methodist minus 43, Lindenwood minus 83, McHenry minus 116, and then Pikeville minus 212. That is your top 16 at the moment. Good question from Barbara. Wanting to know what a Baker set is if you're new to watching. And a Baker set essentially, if you follow throughout the course of the collegiate season, usually tournament formats are a little bit different than what we're going through here today. So usually with that, there's a couple of traditional games. And then there's some Baker games, but teams are always moving around the house. You're not just staying on the same pair throughout the course of competition. But since a Baker game goes so quick, usually those are coupled into a set. So teams will stay on the same pair of lanes for usually 4 or 5 games, depending on the particular format. Here this week for qualifying, it's 4 games apiece, and they will usually go back and forth or on the lane. So we've seen this with the teams. They will bowl 2 games on one lane, then switch to the other. So sometimes there'll be a back and forth situation if it's 5. So that is essentially what a Baker set is here, or why we reference it that way instead of a Baker game, since they stay on the same pair of lanes for a couple games in a row. That's why we reference it like that, but hopefully hopefully my description there came full circle and helps you out there, Barbara. Appreciate the question. Appreciate everybody chiming in the chat. Big shout out to the Bowl TV community as always. I know you folks are excited for the PWBA Greater Cleveland Open. Starting up a little bit later today as well. Emil Williams Jr. and Mike Flanagan going to be on site at Yorktown Lanes. Going to be great to have Emil back in the mix here on the PWBA Tour. A little bit later today, we're going to have a preview story with some thoughts from Josie Barnes, who won the Greater Cleveland Open in 2019 in dramatic fashion. A lot of changes in Josie's life since the last time she competed at Yorktown Lanes, and one of the biggest being the birth of her daughter, Lisa Ruth. So we'll have that preview story available to read, in just a little bit on pwba.com. 190 in the books, game 1 for St. Francis, Illinois. For the Fighting Saints, they had the craziest finish of any team to make the ITCs on the men's side. I believe out of all 32 teams, I feel that was the closest situation, coming down to literally the final frames of game 40. So we were watching it unfold live as well. We had some craziness, but essentially St. Francis, Illinois entered the final game down. They were a little bit ahead of pace of Marion out of Indianapolis. And they stepped up in the 10th when Marion was in about the 6th or 7th frame. And they delivered a big double in the 10th to get into the 190s, which forced Marion to get into the 170s. I don't remember what specifically But stepping up in the ninth frame, Marion still had an opportunity to strike out and get there. Threw a great shot. I believe a 10-pin was left standing. And after that, we had one of the toughest, but moment you could appreciate as a fan of athletics, a fan of bowling. Those teams had battled for just set after set and trying to earn their spot here, earn that spot here right now that we are experiencing. And only one team can make it. For St. Francis, Illinois, the excitement; for Marion, Indiana, the disappointment of being so close, then falling, I believe, 14 pins short. But there was a moment that I will appreciate for a long time from both of those teams. And St. Francis earning the spot. Obviously, you're going to be happy that you're there, but they did not show it. The first thing they did was walk over to the pair that Marion was on to congratulate their fellow competitors on just a fantastic year, a fantastic tournament. There was much appreciation on both sides for that moment, from what I could tell, watching from the Bowl TV studio, and just one of those things that it's tough to put teams and have it come down and be that close and that crazy. And obviously, you can think about 40 Baker games where you could find 14 more pins, but some very gracious teams in that moment. Appreciating the fight that they had been through to have it come down to the end just like that. So big shout out to St. Francis, Illinois and Marion on great seasons, and for St. Francis, Illinois looking to extend it here. At the ITC, 190 game one for the Fighting Saints, 166 for Mount Mercy. Into game two of Baker's set three. Once again, folks, live scoring is available here, courtesy of our friends at Merrick, to follow along with your favorite teams. It's what we use to kind of run around the house really quick, as we do have all pairs available to view. Using lanes 1 through 32 here at the Spectrum Entertainment Complex for the ITC. 40 lanes total on this particular side of the house. They do have a boutique center as well, which is just incredible. That's actually where we shot the Collegiate Award Show from yesterday. And as a heads up, as we get toward the end of this qualifying block, we will have a giveaway. So that's right, folks. We've got a giveaway coming up for everybody joining us here. We're having some fun on bowltv.com. We appreciate the continued support. and look forward to helping you wake up for these early morning sessions moving forward. So that is a little hint to the giveaway. We'll get that going soon. Taking a look around the house here. Some nice games on 17 and 18, courtesy of Lindenwood and St. Ambrose. LU finished that game with 248. St. Ambrose started the 10th with a chance to shoot 257. They did not get the first hit, so 236 now the max for the Fighting Beast. One thing we haven't done yet is run down the rosters of these teams on our featured pair at the moment. So let's make sure we get those in here before we get to that giveaway. For Mount Mercy out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa, the program director, Andy Dirks, but coaching here today is Colin Smith and Sydney Brummett. So pretty cool to see two former collegiate players back in the collegiate realm and doing their thing, helping the next generation. Mount Mercy qualified 4th out of Addison, finished the regular season ranked 8th overall. The roster submitted for this week: Darren Bloomquist, Alex Dirks, Jared Durant, Isaac Erickson, Ian Ridgway, Max Roars, Kai Yamada, and Josh Zilk. Just one senior in that group too, so team that's been finding its momentum. Had a really nice regular season. And I think I mentioned it earlier, I believe their first ITC appearance since 2013 for the Mustangs. Taking a look at St. Francis, Illinois. The Fighting Saints are out of Joliet, Illinois, coached by Tony Talley. We talked about their road to the ITC, that 4th place finish in Smyrna, fighting against Marion, Indiana for that final spot. Finished the regular season ranked 7th overall. Their roster for this event: Alec Dudley, Nick Howard, Jacob Hubbs, Chris Kelly, Robert Kickmel, Eric Kramer, Theron Mitchell, and Mike Nape Jr. Question from Chris in the Bowl TV chat. Will there be a PWBA practice session podcast this evening? And by all accounts, I believe so. I believe that is still in the plan, similar to the past couple of events where we've had our podcast to kind of introduce the oil pattern and see everything going. So I believe that is on point for today from Yorktown Lanes as well. With Emil and Michael. St. Francis, 190. Mount Mercy, 166. Game 1 at Baker set 3. .202 max score for the Mustangs here in Game 2. Spare gives St. Francis, Illinois a chance to get to 187. Still looking for that first strike of Game 2. Back-to-back opens for Mount Mercy, drops the max score down to 181. We saw some pretty high scores from Lawrence Tech and Emmanuel last round after a fairly low scoring to start. Oh, get out of there, 9-pin. Jacob Hubbs delivering there in the 9th. How about after the conclusion of this game, folks, we'll get that giveaway underway. We'll have a couple throughout the course of the day. Nothing too crazy. We'll keep you on your toes, though. Now a double for St. Francis. Spare for Mount Mercy. They can get to 171. Still have quite a few teams plus here. As we mentioned, 9 of the 16 teams averaging better than 200. After Baker set 2, the first 8 games seemed like it might be a bit of a free-for-all when we started today. But it seems like scoring pace is kind of, at least here on 13 and 14, is kind of slowed down a little bit. .176 for St. Francis, Illinois. Mount Mercy, 169. So let's go ahead and get that giveaway going. So we're going to be giving away an ITC branded tumbler. So you can keep your coffee nice and warm in the morning when you're up for these 7 a.m. squads watching on Bowl TV, kicking back. I realize it's Thursday. You're potentially not kicking back. You're probably at work watching, which is approved by me as well. So we encourage work time viewing of Bowl TV. We do hand out permission slips if your boss requests one. But let's go ahead and give that away here. As soon as we get this first shot underway for game 3. We'll put it out into the world. We'll get one lucky winner. Once again, you'll see a prompt in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. All you have to do is wait for it to say submit entry. I'll have the countdown first. Then I'll say the giveaway has begun after about 60 seconds. You'll see a submit entry button on the screen. We do suggest you take it out of full screen mode. Make sure you can see the chat and everything the best way. We'll run it on all channels as well. So now with that first shot, let's go. Giveaway for an ITC tumbler to one lucky Bowl TV viewer. Again, good luck, everybody. Just got to wait for that submit entry button, hit it, and you're entered and good to go. All right, congratulations to Kyle Hoyt, taking home an ITC tumbler, courtesy of Bowl TV. So, Kyle, our marketing team will be reaching out to you soon to make sure we can pick that up for you. And congratulations! Big thanks to everybody for being part of the giveaway here and being part of the Bowl TV community. We appreciate it. Game 3 of 4, just 2 games remain in qualifying here at the 2021 Intercollegiate Team Championships before we know our seeding. For the double elimination best of 7 Baker match play coming up starting at 11 a.m. Eastern. I'm actually going to probably finish this one a little bit ahead of pace. So these teams will have about an hour or so to prepare for the first and only round they will have. Once again, the women will be on the lanes a little bit later today, but this is the only squad or the only one round of match play for the men, same for the women later today. But best of 7, folks. I'm not going to lie. There is something special and crazy and amazing and awesome and super cool and the best. May or may not be in that order about best of 7 Baker competition at the ITC. We've seen some crazy stuff, some fun stuff, some exciting stuff, some dramatic stuff. It really is a phenomenal thing to be a part of. And I'm not just saying that because I want you guys to hang out with me on Bowl TV, because I do enjoy when you hang out with me on Bowl TV, but it truly is, as a bowling fan, this might be it for the team competition. This might be the top of the tier for me specifically. I'm not gonna try to take anything away from any other team competition, like the Open Championships, the upcoming Bowlers Journal Team Championship Series. But this right here, what we're going to see coming up in the next 90 minutes or so and continue into Friday and onto the show on Saturday is the definition of team bowling, in my opinion. So hopefully, after all that, it lives up to the hype. But I will almost guarantee it will. Got Ben and Leisha checking in, saying their daughter's team is bowling this event for the first time later today. They are so excited. Let's go. For Louisiana Tech, all right. It's the type of energy we like this in here a couple hours early. This is the pregame party for the women's squad. I like that Louisiana Tech team too. That's a solid group right there. Excited to see them compete this week. nearing the end of game 3. Unable to get the double in the 10th. St. Francis is going to be in the 190s here for the second of 3 games so far here on 13 and 14. Chance for Mount Mercy still to get to 200. On the nose with all 3 in the 10th. That one comes in a little light. I think when you think about this qualifying round and determining the seeding, we talk about it at the USBC Masters quite a bit, which also has a double elimination bracket tied to it for the top 64 players. And, when you talk to the players, for the folks who, led qualifying, obviously it's nice to find success on the pattern. It's nice to throw some strikes at the venue. It's nice to have confidence going, but, the thing we hear most often is that, if you think of, the NCAA tournament on the NCAA basketball side, the 1 versus 16 ratio is very highly favored for the 1 seed over the course of history, and that's probably an understatement. But you hear it at the Masters about how there's no such thing as an easy draw. If you're making the top 64 for the Masters, you're going to be a tough opponent for whoever you're going to face. And I think, that's kind of the same thing that's happening out here with the ITC. There's no such thing as an easy draw, an easy out. Even for the teams that are a little bit lower in the standings right now. This is all part of the process to try to get ready for that. Knowing that, in a best-of-7 matchup, Baker, anything can happen. If your team is able to fill its frames, you're going to be in position to win a couple matches, regardless. So first and foremost, as long as your team is, finding a way to do that, if you're splitting a little bit, I'm honestly not too concerned about that if I'm the coach. You're still trying to work. You're still trying to find the right ball reaction and know it's a fresh start once you get through with this 12-game block. So great to be the top seed. No doubt. It's cool to get some strikes up there. Speaking of top seeds, it looks like some teams are beginning to wrap up. I don't think anyone's going to be catching up to Wichita State. They are plus 272 after 12. They're in the books already. We're on 21-22. They're paired up with Weber. Weber's going to be north of plus 100. So Midland finishes plus 75, plus 36 for Indiana Tech. William Penn's going to be plus. Wisconsin Whitewater should be plus. Emmanuel's going to be north of plus 50. So for the teams that are a little bit farther back right now, I'm the coach. I'm not going too crazy right now. If the spare shooting's been bad, if you're given too many open frames, that's one thing. No doubt, but I don't believe there's a situation here where any team is out of it after this first qualifying round. That's an easy out. That's going to be a team you're looking at saying, we got this. It's going to take a lot of tough work to make that CBS Sports Network show. These are just the first few steps toward that. So for this final game, to the coach, I think you just want to kind of finalize your lineup. You've probably given everybody an opportunity to take a few shots up there. You know your players. You got the full season in here. They've been in a shorter time frame, but you know your players. You know what you're seeing out there. You're trusting your eyes. You're trusting what your players are telling you. And now it's kind of about finalizing the game plan. I feel there's a lot of opportunity to learn. But now in this hour or so, it's the time to finalize. Yes, Chris, someone did just shout ham bone. Potentially from Mount Mercy, because they've started this game with the front four. Back at number 5, though. Once again, folks, we're going to have a re-oil here. I'm going to be ready to go in about an hour. So we will be giving the cameras a quick breather. Start things back up at 11 a.m. Eastern time.
I'm gonna get higher than you. If I fall, I score one in your head. Hard point, right here.
All right, got 4 or 5 pairs wrapped up for qualifying. So again, you'll want to visit bowl.com/2021 Nationals. That tab is also available above the chat, the middle tab you can select. We'll get you there. This actually might be our last pair done here, so this works out nicely. We'll be able to wrap this up. Nice bow here in just a moment. Looks like everybody else is has concluded their qualifying portion. Wichita State going to be leading the way, 26-72 for 12 games. It's 272 pins above a 200 average. Not in all one game. That would be a record or something. So Mount Mercy looking to put together a nice finishing effort here on qualifying. Can still get to 242 this game. Had some struggles this block. 166, 169, 178 their first 3 games. After they were sitting in 3rd place overall, plus 81. So trying to find some of that momentum, and there's a strike to kick off the 10th. $177. What St. Francis, Illinois can max out with, and now going to be in the 160s. Pretty good shot there. Can't get the 10 out. Going to be in the 230s. 231 is 744, so they will be giving some pins back, but will still be plus for qualifying for 12 games. One final shot to go here for St. Francis.
At 11 a.m. with practice at 10:45. Practice session will begin at 10:45 a.m.
166. They're going to finish the last block at 7:27. As we're hearing the announcements.
Also, coaches and players. Masks must properly be worn at all times.
We have about 45 minutes until practice starts.
Brackets will be posted online once seating has been finalized. And you can also find the bracket down on the high end, line lane 37 and 38, where you'll find lane assignments and your opponent when you walk back into the building. Athletes, don't forget we do have merchandise for sale on the high end.
All right, folks, that is the end of qualifying. We're going to go ahead and recondition the lanes, refire up the cameras, and get ready for the opening round of match play here in the men's division at the 2021 Intercollegiate Team Championships. We saw Wichita State lead the way. We saw 299 from St. Ambrose, so some excitement. We see some possibilities for some scores. So we're going to see if that's going to continue here into a match play. Best of 7 Baker. That's what we like to see, folks. So with that, we're going to go ahead, get ready for this next block. So we are going to go ahead and essentially sign off for just a little bit. So some time to get that full refresh of a new cup of coffee for you. I think I might do the same as well, just to make sure we're awake and ready for this excitement. But before we head out, just a big thank you to the USBC and USBC Board of Directors, BPAA, and the BPAA Board of Directors, Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider of the Intercollegiate Team and Singles Championships, our goal partners, Rotogrip and Storm, our collegiate coaching organizations that we work with, the NCBCA, NTCA, NJCAA, Club, NAIA. Just a big thanks to everybody, IBMA as well, our host, Convention and Visitors Bureau, the West Michigan Sports Commission, the host venue staff here at Spectrum Lanes, and proprietor Mike Eaton, the whole family. Of course, the Bowl TV community. All you folks for joining us here bright and early for some of you, very early. That's what we like to see. And then, of course, for the staff here and from all of us at Bowl TV, for Jason Thomas, I'm Aaron Smith. Thank you, and we will see you in just about 45 minutes to an hour here for the first round of match play for the men's competition here at the ITC. The women coming up a little bit later today, 2 p.m. Eastern, so be on the lookout for that as well. But, folks, it's time for us to start getting ready. We will see you soon. And remember, on Bowl TV, bowling lives here. Thanks again, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.